Let's go explore the colorful, delicious capital of Cambodia, Phnom Penh. She lives here and she has been giving me company. Hello from Phnom Penh. I'm super excited because I actually got to sleep on the plane, which is a rarity for me. Ignore my hair completely. Let's go explore Cambodia and Phnom Penh. I stayed in the Pavilion Hotel, which is right in the city center, and it's easy to navigate from there. But when I got there, I actually really loved the place. Not only because it's central, but also because the building and its decor is very, very traditional and beautiful. Really nice room with my own private pool, which is exactly what I needed after that really long flight. By the way, don't forget to check out my Cambodia country guide. It has a lot of really useful practical information that will sort you for this trip. I was also very lucky that I had the best barbecue stand in Phnom Penh right next to my hotel, which is exactly where I headed after getting some rest. This behind me is the statue of Sihanouk, who's the father of the nation, and behind that is the Independence Tower, and they're both beautifully lit. I like coming here for a walk in the night because it's like just around the corner from my hotel. I had a wonderful night's sleep. I like this place because it's like no noise at all and you sleep in perfect peace, which as a light sleeper, I really am grateful for. So I had my breakfast, which was really nice, and I am heading out to explore the city. So we'll start with the Royal Palace, which is not very far from here, just like a 5 minutes walk maybe. So let's go explore. This is the entrance to the Royal Palace, as well as the Silver Pagoda, where national treasures are stored. And thanks to you-know-who, it is closed and has been for the last 2.5 years. So sadly, I won't be able to see it. But there's a lot more, so let's not despair. If you get time to visit, you won't be able to see all of it, but it is a great place to come. I will tell you a little bit more about the royalty of Cambodia. Let me just find a place to sit somewhere. While I might not have been able to see the Royal Palace and the Silver Pagoda, I want to tell you a little bit about the monarchy in Cambodia. So I thought it would be a lot more like Thailand, where king is the absolute power. In this case, it is a lot more like UK, where the king is a ceremonial figurehead who sort of, lends help and support to the elected officials. And the country is a proper democracy, not like Thailand. So it is quite interesting how things operate, even though they're neighboring countries. And you can visit parts of the Royal Palace because the king still lives there, the family still lives there, and they still host all the guests there. So if you get a chance, do visit it. It's highly recommended. This is the Khmer tuk-tuk, the actual Cambodian tuk-tuk, and I'm heading to the Killing Fields and the Genocide Museum. Let's check them out. The Killing Fields, or Choeung Ek, is a little far out of the city, and it took about 30 to 40 minutes on the tuk-tuk to get there. I am standing in Choeung Ek, which is a killing field, barely 15 kilometers from the center of Phnom Penh. And this is a place which is of paramount importance, and I think everyone who visits Cambodia should visit this place because it is a very difficult, hard chapter. And while everyone knows about Hitler and Mussolini, no one really knows about Pol Pot. He was a French graduate, an educated person who orchestrated all of this to convert Cambodia into a communist state, and in the process killed 1.5 to 2 million people. It's absolutely crazy that before coming here I hadn't heard of him, apart from a passing mention. The field has a central area where you can see evidence of people who were killed, the skulls, the bones. It's just mind-bogglingly crazy. It just drives you nuts. These little boards, and you walk around, show you the kind of cruelty, the kind of mindlessness, and all because these people had the crime of thinking differently. And honestly, it really makes me think the way we are heading, the way we can't process disagreements with other people on small things. I think we need to think differently. I think we need to reach out to each other and have a civil conversation even if we don't agree. Otherwise, this is what happens, and this is what will keep happening. This is a very, very, very heavy place, and you get this knot in your stomach, and I remember getting the same feeling when I visited Auschwitz. Every single one of the cement markings is a mass grave. Some of them are more explicitly labeled, others are not, but you only walk on the designated areas. Their cruelty knew no bound, and this is the prime example. This is the tree against which they would beat and bash the children, not to punish them, but to kill them. I can't think of anything worse. I got some quick food and then headed back to the city where the Genocide Museum is located. I would definitely recommend doing both of them at the same time. I am back in the city, and this is the Tuol Sleng Genocide Museum located inside. Now, this used to be a secondary school before, and that was converted into a prison called S21. Let's go see. These rooms were used for the most horrendous torture for the prisoners, most of them high officials. The Pol Pot regime willfully included torture, violence as part of their doctrine to create the state that they wanted. And a big proof of that is out of almost 20,000 people, only these men survived. Unbelievable. Walking around, you can almost feel the anguish of thousands and thousands and thousands of people who pass through these halls with endless rows of photos. You know what's the worst part in all of this? Children. They would abduct, indoctrinate, and brainwash children into committing these atrocities. A lot of these guards here were barely 18, 20 years old themselves. It just breaks my heart to no limit. After coming out of that museum, the jet lag really hit me hard. So I headed to a spa, and it was actually a really nice place. And if you want to find out more, check my video about the spa. The link is above. I was ever so happy to find her company after that sad, heavy day. Welcome to Wat Phnom, probably the most important and prominent temple in all of Phnom Penh because it is associated with the creation myth of the city. The legend goes something like this. There's a wealthy widow called Pen who found a coconut tree floating in the Tonle Sap River, and she found 4 statues of Buddha and a statue of Vishnu inside. She used the wood of that tree to create this temple on the only hill in the city, and that's how it got its name. Phnom Penh literally means Pen's Hill. It is really important, but it's also really interesting. It is literally my first time visiting a Buddhist temple. And I like, it's a mix of all these different gods and statues that you see around, Chinese and Buddhist. And money plays an important role. You will see all these people who manage the temple, they run everything, but it's definitely really, really interesting to visit and see how all that works. And the main hall inside is really beautiful with all the frescoes, so don't miss it.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so I can show you some more amazing destinations from around the world.
I would recommend doing the temple in the afternoon so you can come for a nice, beautiful sunset cruise on Mekong River, which is exactly what I'm doing. Let's enjoy the sunset and I'll tell you more about it.
It is very easy to do the sunset cruise. You don't need to book anything, just literally go to the pier. And there's a lot of people selling the tours. It's as cheap as $5 to $7 and also includes a drink. The boats are not the fanciest, but you're there for the sunset, not the boats, right? I really loved it. Honestly, no visit to Phnom Penh or Cambodia is complete without a visit to at least one night market. They're really fun, and it's not just about buying stuff. It's a very, very social place, and you get a little bit of insight into the locals and how they live.
I think I'll look really good in this. I just don't have the right color. It doesn't suit me. Bad.
My 3 wonderful days in Phnom Penh are over and I am heading to the island, so click on the link above and meet me in Koh Rang Sanlem. It is more beautiful than you think.
This is Brown Boy Travels, and let me know what you think of the video. Do hit the like button and subscribe, and if you have any suggestions for your own countries so I can visit, do let me know as well. You can also check me on Instagram and TikTok. I will see you in the next video. Bye.